Well, it's another beautiful sunny autumn day, just gorgeous weather. It makes me smile when I wake up and see the sun shining, and somehow everything just seems a bit better. Then I put the news on TV. Now it's all about local lockdown, regional lockdown, total lockdown and circuit breaks. This morning, various people in the north of the country were being interviewed, and many said they were confused. Aren't we all confused? As one woman said last month, the government wanted us all to go out and eat out and help out. But now what are we meant to do? I guess the thing to do is just what Jesus tells us. Not to worry about today, just to worry about today and not to worry about tomorrow. Today we can say the sun is shining, it's warm and lovely, we have lots of freedom. Today we can see friends and family, at least in small groups. Our children can go to school, see their friends and be happy. We have enough food in this country, and even the homeless are being housed, and charities, including our own Mary's Child, are working to ensure that no one goes without. We have choices about how we see the world and how we experience it. This year has been so odd, and I hope we never have another one like it. We have lost much, but I do hope it makes us so very grateful for all the blessings of the past too. Whether we are young or slightly more mature, we are blessed in so many ways compared to others in the world. We're a rich nation. There's enough food for everyone as long as we share. We have sturdy homes and are not afflicted with earthquakes or major floods like some countries. We have a wonderful health service, plus police and fire, social services, and many charities that will help us if we're ill or in trouble. We have generally good employment, and money is paid to us when we lose jobs or are too ill to work. Compared to many other countries in the world, we are very well blessed. My own ignorance of how poor some people are was highlighted some years ago when Andrew and I hosted Bishop Sebahinja from Uganda in Africa. We were looking after him when he came to live at St John's Theological College in Nottingham whilst he was studying there. Bishop Sebahinja was a lovely man, over 6 foot tall, very slim, with an amazing smile. He had great charm and wit, and had many stories to tell, some sad ones, particularly of unrest in Uganda, and the many difficulties faced by people there. Few people in his diocese had electricity, or even basics like shoes. One weekend, Andrew and I were due to be at services in Kettering, so the bishop thought he might like to join us in our home. I explained he'd have to have our bedroom, that we would sleep on the sofa bed. I also explained about our only bathroom being downstairs. I was somewhat worried when all he brought with him for our weekend away was a normal-sized briefcase. I knew he always had a large Bible in that. Not much room for clothes, I thought. On one of my nighttime visits to the bathroom, I bumped into the bishop. He had pyjamas and a dressing gown on. How did that fit in a briefcase, I thought. The next day he had different trousers and a blazer, and then a different shirt for Sunday, and a wash bag, all from one small briefcase. "Carol," he said, "we have to travel light in Uganda." To this day I think he must have borrowed his bag from Mary Poppins. As we drove into Kettering, he looked at all the fields. "So many farmers you have for so many fields." And I had to explain that we have few major landowners who have many fields. He frowned. We then stopped at our daughter's pub, and a wedding party was having a hog roast. He couldn't believe that one whole pig was going to be eaten by one wedding party. "Such a lot of food for so few," he said. "In my country we only have one meal a day, and that is beans grown on a small patch of land that each person has." He then kindly offered me an invite to go and stay. I think my face must have said what my mind was thinking, so he added, "Don't worry, Carol, for you I will find a chicken and some potatoes." Later I mistakenly asked if they had milk for tea and coffee. I was soon told that the poor people in his part of Uganda don't have the tea and coffee, let alone milk. I did feel a bit daft. Bishop Sebahinja had suffered much in Uganda, but he was always cheerful and faithful. He left Kettering having made a huge impression after just one weekend. My dad was so taken with him that he donated some of his very best clothes, and the bishop then looked very smart indeed, especially in his aquascutum raincoat. We never did get to visit Uganda, as the bishop had family issues to deal with, but I often think of him and all the problems he had to face in his diocese and with his people. But I also remember the great joy and confidence in God that he carried wherever he went. I've never learnt either how to pack so many clothes into such a small bag. People like him help us to remember to count our blessings when we can, to trust in God to provide. Despite his poverty and suffering, Bishop Sebahinja carried so much joy and could inspire faith and hope in so many. I hope we too can help others reflect on God's goodness now and in better times, and remember how blessed we are in so many ways. And to remember whatever happens we can rely on God's generosity, love and grace when we need it. Amen.